backseat drunk to hear a word I say. Start the car and take me home. Just tonight I will stay, and we'll throw it all away. When the light hits your eyes, it's telling me I'm right.
No, of course. Thank you. I'm sorry. Again, sorry I'm late. Any artist will tell you there's definitely quite a few obstacles on many different levels. I mean, in making the record, I'm amazed that we actually finished it. I mean, we took 2 years to make it and worked so meticulously on it that when it was finally done, it didn't seem real. And then, you know, now 2 years coming, the record's finally out today, and it doesn't seem real yet. I haven't really processed it. I don't believe it yet. So it's kind of, I guess that's the similarity. We released it in the UK first, so it's been out for a while over there, but to finally have it out in America, I mean, I've been talking about the record for 2 years now. It's enough talking about it. I'm happy that people are finally being able to actually hear the music and let that speak for itself, you know. I mean, that's one of the things that I've had to overcome and still do, I think, is just getting people to give the record a chance to even listen to it, you know, instead of just writing it off like actress turned singer. I mean, for me, I started writing at 5 years old. It's like I would consider myself a musician who also acts on the side, not the other way around. But, and I think people, you know, there's definitely a level of people who learn who you are through a television show or a character. They associate anything you are with that character, and I'm not my character, you know, she's a make-believe person who I'm very, very different from. So I think it's definitely for people who've heard the record after watching the show, it's probably a bit of a surprise because they're like, what the you know? But I am very different than my character, so, I mean, I'm a different person. No, it probably always equivalent. I mean, it's all equally as personal to me and equally is torturous, you know, and in the process of writing every song. And honestly, every song was done so differently that it's hard for me at least, to compare, you know, two songs on the record to each other because they came from a different place. They were, you know, written differently, recorded differently. I was a different space in my life. I mean, because we worked on the record for 2 years, so it was, you know, it was a long span. Well, I mean, the easiest way to say it is we didn't have to come up with a title because it's also a song on the record, you know, but it also seemed very fitting for the first record. You know, it's Light Me Up, Start the Fire. It's the first record. It's the first introduction to the band. You know, it's hopefully starting everything up. Yeah, we didn't really go through many. The label and everyone was asking, you know, do you have a title? We're starting to talk about it. And, well, what should we call it? So that's when we started thinking about it. And someone threw out Light Me Up. I don't remember who it was. And that's, it just kind of, everyone agreed immediately. We never really argued. It was the one thing that, it was probably the simplest thing of the entire making of the record. Well, yes and no. I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of classic rock even before I'd seen the concert. My dad is a big rock and roll fan, so, I mean, I'd seen Zeppelin DVDs live and seen lots of live DVDs of rock concerts, but I'd never been to an actual show with that, you know, with that magnitude of production and you know, space to do. I've been to little tiny club shows and things of local bands and stuff, but I'd never been to a rock show that I was actually a fan of the music, knew what I was seeing and everything, and it was a really impactful show for me. I was, you know, I was still very young, and I remember it was just so overwhelmingly loud, and it was definitely a definitive moment where I was like, oh, I want to do nothing but play in a rock band. Like, I mean, I'd been writing songs for a few years at that point, and knew, you know, the genre I liked and things, but didn't really know what that meant yet, you know. And at that point, that's when I was like, oh, this is what I want to do with my life. It's sad. It's sad, but I mean, I think Jack White's great, and, you know, we still have the records at least, and I think everything he kind of touches is great. You know, the Dead Weather is very cool. I like the video. Have you seen the video for "Treat Me Like Your Mother"? Mm-hmm. It's f***ing awesome. Like, I think it's one of the coolest videos ever. So I mean, he's great, and he's continuing to make music, so that's cool. With that show, that was just one of. I mean, all the shows are kind of like that, and it's interesting to see what particular show the press picks up is, you know what I mean? All the shows, it's developed the more we play and the more we tour, you know, obviously, but in that particular, there happened to be press in the room, so that's the show that got publicized. But I mean, we love playing there. It's one of my favorites. It's one of the only remaining rock clubs in New York City. Authentic. So it was definitely a really awesome show. One of my top favorite ones, honestly. The venue is just very cool. It's got a good vibe. And where you're playing definitely can impact a show, along with the audience, obviously. You feed off of them. But where the vibe of the room itself can, very much influence how the show goes that night. And it's a rock and roll room.